Okay, looks like we're live. Great. Okay, this is just a little review of the Asus G14 Zephyrus. It's one of my favorite series of laptops because I feel like this is one of those affordable gaming slash work slash school laptops that I find to be the best bang for the buck, especially when it's on sale. Right now over at Best Buy, you can get this particular laptop for about just over $1,000. And I have no affiliation with Best Buy. I am actually using a laptop right now, but I have no affiliation with Best Buy whatsoever, other than that I, get their laptops from time to time when they're on sale, and don't be too shy about getting them a little bit used. So the one we're talking about is the Asus Zephyrus, ROG Zephyrus G14. This version is a 2023 version with the RTX 4060 with 512 gigabytes of SSD and 16 gigabytes of memory. These are both the memory and the SSD are upgradable. And it's really easy. You just unscrew a couple of screws down on the bottom. There's a lot of videos on it. If you've seen some of the older videos on it, the chassis is pretty much the same. It's a magnesium alloy type of chassis. It is, I believe that it is one of the better looking ones that does not feel as Ultrabook premium, but you're not paying an Ultrabook premium price. So it's white. The one that I have here is white. I think they only come in one color, at least from Best Buy. They used to come with a few other different colors, but as you can see, it's very clean, very minimalistic. It's fairly thin. It's 3.5 pounds. It's got roughly 8 hours full day battery life. Let's say you're at school or work, you're surfing the web, watching a video. It's going to have that battery life that you need. As far as gaming is concerned, of course, you pull on full blast, you're not going to get the amount of hours that you're hoping to get. So you're going to really want to still plug in as far as when you're gaming. Okay, so I want to say maybe an hour and a half, and then I really get a little bit anxious. And then also note that the performance goes down, as you should probably set it up that way. The performance goes down when you unplug it from the power. Now, I run some benchmarks. This is kind of what we're looking at here. As you can see, it is a above average score as far as the specifications compared to other laptops. So as you can see, I got a score of 10,694. The average is 9,814. And the best with these specifications is 11,752 marks. So we're really, Asus optimized this pretty well. It stays fairly cool after you configure it with the GPU fix, and I have a link down below for this video on that. So you can go there and click on the link and watch the video on how to adjust it so that you're not in turbo boost overheating mode all the time. With that said, I think this does a little bit better cooling than my other G14 that was the previous gen. I think previous gen or 2 generations ago, it does a better job than that. So they have improved a little bit on the thermals, but I do believe that if you don't do that one fix, and I'll show you this quick little video. Here's the video right here. It's called How to Fix Asus G14 Excessive Heat Fix. If you follow the video completely through, it's only 9 minutes to get it done. It's actually a lot quicker than that to do it. It's just that I was explaining things as we went along. I think you finish it up in 5 minutes. What that basically does is it cuts down the turbo boost that is totally not necessarily when you are playing games. Okay, and even then when you're not playing games, you're using it for daily office stuff, let's say school stuff, or whatever stuff that you want to do, and you're not playing hardcore AAA games, then it's a fix that you should do anyway. And then you can always reverse it as well. And I show you how to do that in the video. What this will do is it will give the laptop the longevity that it needs by, not overheating the laptop. And this is actually cooler than the previous generation. I've noticed that when I'm playing, I don't feel like the surface is too superheated. But of course, it could be that because I did the G14 fix. So that might have been affecting that. I've noticed the fan is also relatively as quiet as the as can be for a current notebook running 4060. So the cooling is sufficient. Unfortunately, like most gaming laptops, I feel that it gets a little bit loud. All right, so if you're doing the gaming and you got the you're using the turbo boost mode right now, I have in silent mode. There's a few different modes that you can adjust here. Using a turbo mode, you're going to get a lot of fan noise, and I find that really annoying. You're going to want to put on headphones. This is true of just about all the other gaming notebooks that I've tried, so that's nothing new about this. Now, regarding Armory Crate, it's okay. It's the one that Asus gives you. You can adjust the lighting. Okay, you can synchronize all your stuff if you're using all other Asus gaming accessories, notebooks, which is kind of fun. And the lighting's better than previous generation on the keyboard. I know that was very inconsistent with the previous keyboard. It's a little bit hard to see here because I have the lights turned on pretty bright. But it is an improvement. The keyboard actually feels pretty good. I type fairly quickly on it. And I usually use a MacBook, so it definitely has a little bit, I mean, it feels like a better feeling keyboard than the keyboard on my Mac. And I really don't have too many other complaints about that. The size of the trackpad is also decently large. So it's very comfortable to use, feels very ergonomic. Overall, I feel like Asus has a winning design here, particularly for the price when it comes to just I feel like this is kind of a mid-range type of gaming laptop. But for $1,000, I think it's really a true value leader. Now, there is one other recommendation, one that I haven't tried too much because this actually doesn't bother me as much as some other people. But there is something known as the G Helper, and you can go ahead and download that. I think it's on GitHub. Right here, it's lightweight control tool for Asus laptops. You can go ahead and download this, and then you don't have to use the utility Armory Crate, which does feel a little bit sluggish if I'm using it. I actually don't use it too much. I usually leave it on silent because the games that I play aren't too demanding as far as a laptop that is a 4060 series. Okay, back a little bit more about the laptop here, and we'll take a look at the. I use this primarily not for gaming because I don't do a lot of gaming, so I use this for content creation. And these are the statistics for as far as the PC Mark 10. This was these are from back in October, and as you can see, the scores are really high. Anything close to 10,000 is going to be more than enough than what the average person needs. Okay, so I edit 4K videos, no problem, using Adobe Premiere. It does a decent job. It's not as fast as my Mac M1 Max. Okay, so, but that's just could be. I'm not exactly sure. It could be that the Adobe Premiere just wasn't quite as optimized. For one or the other, I'm not sure. I still prefer to use my MacBook as far as at content editing, but this is fairly good. Now the video editing score is 7,320. This is really challenging, of course. Any of the video editing scores on here, I feel like if you're doing 7,000, that's a really modern laptop. Is it going to last as long as maybe the M series of the Apples? No. This is why I still primarily do my video editing on my Mac, as far as my experience is. But you know, you're doing web browsing, you're doing video conferencing, all these things, it hits the mark really well. This feels like a really fast premium laptop. There's no lag, etc. on anywhere that I can tell on day-to-day use. And this is with a base notebook. I'm not talking about any upgrades that you can do, right? You can add more RAM, you can increase the speed of SSD. I find that is perfectly sufficient for those purposes. Okay, now a little bit more about some of the details and specifications. If you are thinking about getting this as a gift for someone, I think it's probably the best bang for the buck without breaking the bank. Okay, $1,099 right now. You can get it open box for $945, at least over here. Today is December 20th, and the screen is fantastic. I believe it's full-on sRGB, which just basically means that you've captured most of the color range that most people are used to, especially if you're doing social media. The resolution's sufficient. It's obviously not 4K. I don't think this performs well in 4K mode, at least from the testing that I've done. This is not a 4K gaming laptop, and so you don't have a 4K screen. This is a good compromise between Full HD. It's basically QHD, which is a little bit higher than Full HD. I know this says Full HD, but it's just a little bit, it's just below the 4K Ultra. SSD, you can do the upgrade. You can do a little bit better than that. 512 gigabytes is not enough. So you should go on and get at least 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes and just replace a chip. It doesn't take very long to do as far as upgrading. They really do make that easy as far as removing the screws down below and getting access to those chips. There's plenty of videos on that, but if you would like to see me do something like that, I'm open to it. I will probably be doing it on a different Asus laptop because this one is this one's staying stock as is, at least for now, because I really don't need to worry about the space on here. It does run Windows 11, so you know, if you are just hesitant on changing it, or if you are used to using an older Windows, it could take a little bit of getting used to. But really, honestly, you really need to be on Windows 11 anyway. As far as bloatware, there is, you know, the normal range of bloatware on here. You'll probably want to remove a lot of things. I actually didn't on here. I left it stock just to see if it bothers me, and it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would be. I would probably remove the McAfee on here. Let's see, did I already remove it? I'm not sure. But the processing power of the Ryzen is more than sufficient to handle a lot of this bloatware that I feel that was on here. Maybe I did remove it, but as you can see, it still has a lot of stuff in there that you can just remove. I mean, come on. Do I really need an Asus VirtualPet? Okay, granted that doesn't mean a lot or use a lot of resources. That's, yeah, I guess that it's not too bad. Let's check out the task manager and see what kind of stuff we're using. Already using 62% of the memory as is with the stuff that I have running, which is not, I guess it's not too crazy. CPU, I have this on, I believe I have this on silent mode. So the fan, I can barely hear, which is great. Okay, I want to mention a couple of things about the ports too. You've got 2 USB-C ports. I don't believe, well, let me see what the Thunderbolt is on it. Honestly, I thought that I would use the Thunderbolt ports a little bit more, but I really haven't. I guess I feel like there just wasn't as much of a need. I mean, it's nice to have it on there, but I don't believe it is because it is not Intel. And some of you may know that Intel really likes to keep the Thunderbolt on their own system. So let me take a look at that here. Meaning on their own processors. Let's see, 54 AMD Smart Access Memory, Mux Switch, wireless, yeah, no. Oh, it's got a 720p infrared camera, which is useful because you can use Windows Hello. It'll log in just with, I believe, your face. It works sometimes and doesn't work sometimes for me. That's because I switch glasses. Sometimes I switch between glasses and contact lenses. These are single zone RGB keyboard backlights, so you can't choose individual colors for the different ones. If that is something that you are looking into, this will not be able to do that. Okay, so it has 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C ports. That's decent. And also 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A ports. So it's not Thunderbolt 4 or anything. That's not something I would expect in this price range. I mean, if you can wait, another, let's see, 5 or 6 months, and they might have another G14 in a new, yet to be released for notebooks, 50 something series graphics card. But I think right now we're at the great price point that is affordable, it's up to date, and we'll be able to run just most of the games that you want at full HD with reasonable frames per second. So the 3D Mark scores here, again, you can compare this with these other computers online. So you can see there's a few games here to show you. If you play Apex Legends at 1440p Ultra, you're doing 115 plus frames per second, which is excellent. Grand Theft Auto 5, you're doing 70 plus. I believe anything over 60 is decent. Red Dead Redemption, don't run it at Ultra 1440. If you're running at full HD, you're good. And Fortnite, I mean, obviously Fortnite, you're not going to have any problem whatsoever. So these are pretty good scores. Let me see if we can compare them to, oh, I don't have the scores for the new one. So I will have another video on the other Asus Zephyrus, but I believe I'm testing. I think it's the M16. So that one is higher spec. I think it's the RTX 4070. There's not a huge bump in increase in the speed on that. So, but what I do like is, of course, it's different. Okay, this is 14-inch, very portable, super quiet when you have it on silent mode. Does everything that you need for school and work. Does okay with the games the most popular games that people are playing right now. Just won't play them well in 4K. And really, for $1,099, you really can't go wrong. All right. Now, I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. Probably not, because this is kind of a weird time for me to be doing the live stream on here. So, yeah, well, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down below. But yeah, that's it for this video. Give us a like, subscribe for more. Catch you next one. Thanks for watching.